Yeah.
I'm C,
I'm Diz.
And I'm Maji.
and this is the Journey to Healing podcast.
So tonight we're going to talk about growing up in urban communities and the effects that some of the experiences can have on your mental health. There's a lot of different disorders and dysfunctions that can occur to somebody just from, some of the things that transpire while they're growing up and just being around certain things happening, whether it be, you know, chaos through violence, emotional distress. It's just a lot of things that people don't pay attention to that they carry with them often.
Um, One of the main things that happened when I was younger, just being around a bunch of negativity. I feel like growing up in the inner city comes with a lot of negativity, comes with a lot of different peer pressures and decisions that you gotta make that other people in different communities wouldn't have to make. Um, One of the things that I used to do was hold it all in. I used to think it was normal. I used to think it was regular, but I felt like I was a non-approachable person once I started being around people that came from different elements, different communities than me. One of the things I had to focus on growing into a man, was focusing on changing that by just looking into myself, writing things down, putting prayer to a lot of situations. I want to ask y'all, like, what was the things that y'all used to do to change it, or how did growing up in the inner city affect y'all?
Well, growing up in the city, a major thing for me was just running the streets. I just been in the streets all my life, and I just got accustomed to that life. You know what I mean? Doing the same shit everybody doing. Just learning as I'm going, but I'm learning from people in the streets. You know what I mean? I ain't have no real role models. Like, wasn't nobody. Like, everybody was in the streets, so I'm learning from them. I'm watching them as I grew up, and that's just what I got used to. You know what I mean? So that shit just like run concurrent, like with a lot of us.
Right.
For real.
Well, for me, so many different experiences. I'm not gonna really say how I handled it. I'm gonna just pretty much touch up on one of my childhood traumas that I do remember. Right. So when I was little, like, Camden realistically isn't that bad these days as it was when we was kids. So gunshots back then was more often than it is now. So I used to hear gunshots all the time, just all the time. So when it more so started touching home, because I had some family members that got shot before my dad passed away. He got shot, a time before that. So as I'm young and I'm hearing gunshots, like, it could be late at night, wake me up out my sleep. So naturally, like, I used to get out my bed and I pray, right? Because I knew how it was to be waking up out my sleep to get a call, like, this person got shot that's close to me. Naturally, just being young and hearing gunshots all the time, that just used to be something that just used to, I can't say if it did frighten me to a certain degree, because I would, like, hope it's not somebody that I love. So I pray about it. So even still hearing gunshots now, it's like late night, you might hear a couple shots go off. Now, as a grown man, of course, I don't have that feeling, but it's still, as far as the mental state, it still take me back to those moments, though. You get what I'm saying? So I still could, like, kind of see myself, my younger self, like, getting out of bed and just praying like that. And I just think, like, damn, that's crazy. But that's just like something, like, unknowingly or subconsciously that I think about that still sticks with me even in my adult life. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, to piggyback off that, like, growing up, like, I would see shit, but, like, I would be like, damn, it's always, like, somebody older than me. Like, niggas, like, they used to hustle around my way, they was always older. You feel me? So I'd be like, oh, I ain't really know them. But once I started growing up and being in the streets and watching people that was close to me die, it's like every time I see a police car go by with the lights on and shit, I automatically go to my head and assume like, damn, like I hope they ain't one of my folks or some shit like that. And you know, I lived in Camden and I lived in Pensacola too, so I had experienced both. You get what I'm saying? I got to experience the suburbs a little bit, then I got to experience the hood. So it's like when I used to go out there, it was like I was always on defense. Like I would take the anger that I got from living in the hood to out there and be fighting and doing all this crazy shit, because that's how I would learn how to express myself. You know, growing up, I learned being a man that us as men, we had to walk around with stuff bottled in.
Right.
And when it's not properly treated or taken care of with therapy and prayer and all that stuff like that, it comes out the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what most of the people that I grew up with is going through. They either in the graveyard or they in jail because they wasn't treated right. They wasn't treating their trauma and all that stuff right. You know what I'm saying? Right. If that makes any sense.
And another thing is just countering just with people, like just meeting people and things they've been through and things they going through, and going through things, and there's people taking you through things too, you know what I mean? So
right.
it's just a lot, like, you know, coming up in the urban community, bro. Like, it's some shit we went through that we never even have to go through, but you know, maybe one of our friends is going through something, or you know, our significant other going through something.
Right.
So you go through it with them, and that shit takes a toll too.
Right.
I feel it's go ahead, Mike.
And not just that, like I said before, a lot of different types of traumas. And, you know, of course, we all got that in common, being as though we come from a small city like Camden. Anyway, so naturally, most people have that in common to talk about. But you know, still, you know, emotional sides of things, and you know, it's still people going through traumatic experiences young, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with a significant other. They could have watched maybe their parent go through, you know, something traumatic, and you know, that could still be, you know, they could be carrying out certain ways in their adult life just because they just don't know. You get what I'm saying? And it scars you in a sense, in that you don't even recognize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, and it's a lot of people that go through things like that, because like I feel like in inner cities, especially small cities, like aren't morally sound. Like the people's principles and morals don't align a lot of the time. So it's like being younger, you might have seen an uncle that dealt with your aunt and her sister. You get what I'm saying? So you know, like so naturally, it's like it's hard to be emotionally intelligent. You get what I'm saying? Because you never had a real example of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like what you said, emotional intelligence. Like, people don't be understanding a lot of stuff that you go through living in the inner city ain't the same thing as a person in a suburb will be able to, because they tackle it and it's different. Like, the educational system is different for us. The way we are treated, like, I done had situations where I get stopped and my ID say Camden, it's like, oh, well, hold up, we gotta check you, or you fit the description of somebody in the neighborhood that did a robbery and stuff like that. So it's not making excuses for being from Camden, but you come from a poverty-stricken town where either way, regardless of the fact, if you live here for a long time, you're going to face trauma, because anything can happen at any moment, man. Like, I mean, I had a situation a few days ago. I'm going home from work, and my folks had a situation going on with him. But, you know what I mean, if I would have not known how to play it, I would have ended up getting locked up or something like that, you know? And a lot of times, it just be too late for people, you know what I'm saying? You know, even with death, when we talk about death, we've been anybody that's from out here been experiencing death since they was younger,
Right.
and it's not by natural causes. It's by violence and how we react to things. So it's just like what I really try to focus on now is all right. That's the problem. What is the solution? So I would ask you like going forward to the person that's watching this and doesn't know how to deal with that hurt from his childhood, what would you tell them? What would you tell them going forward? Like, you know.
I tell them just stay focused, man. Don't lose focus. Finish school. You know, as if you a kid, if you a young adult watching this, a teen, finish school, man. Don't get caught up with these females and having kids at a young age, and try to stay out the streets. It's nothing in the streets. Get your education and pick up a book, read, play some sports, go work out, go do some fun things with your friends. You don't have to terrorize the city with your friends. You guys can go to the movies and just do positive things. Everybody think negative. You know what I mean? Our kids coming up are just thinking negative, and that's not cool.
Yeah, but like me personally, the solutions I came up with, man, I just learned how to just stay focused on myself, bro. Like, yeah, everybody get into their own lane, or they got something going on, or some type of motion, but I just stay in my own lane. You know, like I learned to just go to work, go home, read, do what I do. You know, because you never know. You could stop and talk to a person living out here and end up booked because of some shit that they got going on that they didn't tell you about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like that's why I say go by the beat of your own drum, man. A lot of times with this generation now is they not focused on money like how we was focused on the money back in the day. And now a lot of things is praised on the internet. Being from the hood is praised on the internet. Being from the hood was never supposed to be praised. It's supposed to be you live there, but you trying to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Period. So I say all that to say it is what you make it of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's just like any situation. You know what I'm saying?
So for me, I would say for just anybody, work on your emotional intelligence. Because that's a hard thing to grasp. Get a grasp on. Like even as an adult, like, and it never stops. You got whatever you got. You got the things that you gotta make smart decisions about when you a kid, and it's only more things that you gotta make decisions about the older you get. So you only gonna get more responsibilities. So the emotional intelligence is definitely a major thing because in a blink of an eye you could change your whole life based off of a emotional decision.
Yeah.
You could some people aren't here based off of emotional decisions. Some people wake up in the county jail based off of emotional decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's through whatever scenario. It could be a street scenario. It could be a work scenario. It could be a relationship scenario. You know what I'm saying? You have to be stronger than your emotions mentally, and that's with having that capacity, the mental capacity to do that. And that's definitely something that's trying for most people. So that got to be worked on over time, and it should start early. I feel like in this day and age, we should even talk to our kids about emotional intelligence. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like they have way more things within their reach than we did, with the world being so high on technology how it is. With the internet, so many things reach these kids. They thinking about all these things years before we did because they're seeing it. You know, on top of, like, we really had role models. You know, these kids like that. You know, down to what they play on TV. It's not too many.
That's because we actually was outside around people. These kids is watching people on a screen
and portraying them.
But these people that they portraying, they not even really like that either though.
Right,
you know
that's what I mean by even we had role models even on TV, because you know we can't control what's on TV just like they can't. So what's put there for them is put there for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even on the networks that we watch good shows on as kids, they don't produce them same good shows for them.
Right.
You know,
Me personally though, when I was growing up, my role models was the folks in the neighborhood. Like, yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, some of them was drug dealers, some of them was but they was drug dealers, but they was real smart, intellectual people. You know, even though some of the things that they was doing was wrong, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
But this is the thing. These kids don't even they don't walk out that door and see no OGs or nobody to tell them nothing. They really just watching what people doing on the internet.
But you know what's crazy? That starts with us in our generation.
So yeah.
Because see, they're coming up behind us. So what we do is a reflection of what they do. And that's what I had to learn. You know, going through things, having to go to jail and stuff like that, and just realizing like, yo, I don't want this for my son. Like I remember it was a Sunday and we was watching football and we on the chair and my man's just like, yo, you got kids? Your son what? Yeah, my son's favorite player is Tyreek Hill. And it just made me snap back into that. Like, yo, like I'm really sitting in here and my kid is growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this can't be a cycle, because he'll think my dad was in jail, so I'm gonna be in jail. My dad got killed out here, so I'm gonna die out here.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And that's not fair for him. You get what I'm saying? So at least I gotta try. If I fail, I fail, but at least I tried.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So that's what just breaking the cycles. It starts with our generation. You know, and it starts with different reactions, like you said, being emotionally intelligent, realizing that you're wrong in a situation, or realizing like, yo, I gotta change this about myself, and doing it. You know what I'm saying? And being in an uncomfortable situation.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And I'm not talking about putting your life in danger. No, I'm talking about an uncomfortable situation where, you know, usually I would have reacted like this, or I would have smacked him in his mouth, or I would have cursed him out, but I'm going to walk away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you never know who is looking up to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, I mean, so it's just...
There'd be some situations we can't tolerate the disrespect neither though.
So what you do, to me personally, what I would do, now that I understand it, I wouldn't even try. I try my best not to even put myself in them situations. That's why I literally be on it where it's like, that's what part of staying in my lane. I know it's a lot of people outside over here. It's a lot of Jones over there. Let me not say females over there. I could get up with my boys over there, but then if I go out there, is that going to bring me out my element? Am I going to get upset with somebody because I'm around too many people? Am I even at that level yet where I can be around people and be comfortable around people? That's the questions that you got to start asking yourself before you leave the house.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because you know the scenarios that we grew up, a lot of these scenarios that our folks done passed away from growing in the hood is just them not thinking, just moving. You got to be able to think first. So if you know that you can't deal with that disrespect, you're going to put yourself in that situation to be disrespected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what that leads back to guarding your aura and your energy. Going with your gut and your intuition. That's another part of emotional intelligence. Your intuition is there for a reason. Your gut feeling is there for a reason. It's not you being paranoid all the time.
Right.
You got to know the difference between PTSD and just being focused and knowing what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot, you know. It's a lot, but it doesn't happen overnight, bro. It really doesn't.
It definitely don't happen overnight. You gotta lock in with yourself.
Yeah.
Lock in with yourself.
It's always
man.
easier said than done.
It's always easier said than done, bro. Like my schedule, I'm like these last few months, the last year, so the year before last, I was at a job for almost 2 years, and you know I used to always tell my boss and I'm like, yo, I'm going back to school, I'm going to do this, and I was just playing with it. But then when I lost my job, I actually did it, you know. And then I did the overnight thing.
It takes
too.
you to lose some shit sometimes.
Yeah, to gain something.
To gain
To
something.
gain something.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, I made my schedule busy, and when I make my schedule busy, it makes it hard for people to reach me. You know what I'm saying? And making it hard for people to reach me makes it hard for different energies to come into my life to mess me up. So people be like, damn, you got a glow on you, or you getting chubby, or you look good. It's because I'm making myself unreachable.
Right.
Cause you can live in the hood, but you don't gotta be a part of the hood.
Right.
There's people that grew up in the hood now that are getting famous and all that, and we never even knew they was out here because they kept themselves unreachable.
Right.
They knew what they wanted and they stayed focused on that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about your decisions, and that all goes back and stems back to staying in your lane. The longer you stay in your lane, the more longevity that you have. You know.
Right. It's kind of like a gift and a curse for real, because like also living in the urban community teach you so much. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, a lot of the times it might come off as paranoia or PTSD, but you know, just you know how we move, and you know, and all that goes into that. It's just that comes from where we from. You know, and things we've been through, and even down to you saying like how you are. You know, in a sense, you isolate yourself. You get what I'm saying? It took a lot of trauma to even get to that point. You get what I'm saying? For you to even be intelligent enough to know, like, no, this ain't the time for me to be around everybody. I need this time for myself. I have to focus on this. You get what I'm saying? So even that took a lot of work for you to have to do that, and I could definitely respect that. Because like we said, it's always easier said than done. So you know, and also, like I want to touch up on you saying, you know, staying in your lane, and you know that play a big part of us just being here, man, and you know not putting ourselves in certain situations or even certain places for certain things to take place, because like I said, in the blink of an eye, one split second, one split decision, life could change for everybody, and a lot of times we're just moving on a day-to-day, kind of selfishly, you know, without thinking that even by me going and standing right here talking to this person, I know where I'm at. I know what goes on here. You get what I'm saying? Whether it be dead or in jail, laid up in a hospital, whether it be anything, you get what I'm saying? This one split decision could cause a lifetime full of trauma for my kids. You get what I'm saying? Often we move around on a day-to-day basis, not that we forget, but just not thinking about that. Or you know, so you know, that's definitely major.
And that comes from comfortability. We comfortable with being in certain places and doing certain things because we've been doing it for so long, and it's just regular to us. So sometimes we don't even think about, you know, being in a certain area,
Right.
because we came from the area.
So you know, like I was saying, like people often move from the hood, wherever hood they from, and then they down talk the hood. And I always been one of them people, like, you from that place.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You whatever mojo you had to do what you did, you got that grit from where you came from. So you gotta respect where you came from. But then in a certain sense, like you said, it's the sense of comfortability. And I feel like that sense of comfortability keep us trapped in a certain you know sense, because you gotta take it, like Dad said, you gotta take yourself away sometimes. You get what I'm saying? But when you still living in it, it's hard to remove yourself, you know, all the
It's
time.
hard to stay focused.
Yeah.
And I feel as though, like, even with this, what you were saying about how people move from the hood and down talk the hood, like, my thing is, it's okay to move from the hood. It's okay to elevate. because you're not supposed to stay in the same spot or be the same person throughout your life. But you should always leave that door open so somebody else can come through it.
Mm-hmm.
Not just anybody, but somebody that you know is serious. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Watering each other, being evenly yoked, and pouring into each other. Even this podcast is a form of us pouring into each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, basically, it's not going. I feel as though it's not going to change until we get more involved into our communities. You know what I'm saying? And really be out here trying to talk to the youth or take time, because a lot of times we focus on us. Like even what you said with me isolating, and I have a problem with this. Like I'll be so focused on what I got going on in my personal life, I can't stop and talk to the young boy around my way that they ain't got no dad or is going through something, that's out on that block every morning, or you know what I'm saying? But I won't talk to him, but God forbid, he could be a threat to my childhood. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I knew him, he was in my neighborhood. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's just like, it's all about being go back to them days where the village, the neighborhood would raise you. Because it was so many times, like I was one of those kids that used to want to do what I wanted to do. So my mom and them used to kick me out. And me growing up, I would have to lean on my friends' moms and dads to get something to eat or have a place to stay for the night. You get what I'm saying? Because I chose that route. You get what I'm saying? But if I didn't have them people in my life, I wouldn't be the man I am today. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about just really being active in your community. Don't just sit there and say it. Do it. You know what I mean? It ain't gotta be no elaborate thing. See, a lot of times people do stuff. You gotta do it. You gotta really do it from the kindness of your heart. You know what I mean? You gotta do it from the kindness. If it ain't coming from the heart, it ain't genuine. Don't do it at all. Because a lot of times you get people that they either running for office or, you know what I mean, they trying to do it for the gram and do it for the book. Nah, bro.
Their own selfish reasons.
Their own selfish reasons, and that's what's going on out here.
It's too much of that going on. We gotta get back. We gotta lock back in with ourselves, our youth, our community, and most importantly yourself. Like, why are we going off of the internet and what other people are doing or what other people got? Like, that shit is weird to me.
And I really feel as though we gotta start pressing more of these people in power. Meaning, like, our politicians, a lot of times people think, oh, it's the president, it's the vote for the people in your community, the mayors, the board of education, the councilmen and stuff like that. Like, do your research on them.
Right.
Because these are the people that are getting them checks to put back in our communities and stuff like that.
Right.
You feel me? And it's not going to change until we start speaking up. Like, I had a conversation with a police officer and I was talking to him, and like, a lot of times they working their 8 hours just like we working our 8 hours at a job.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, they dealing with stuff just like we dealing with stuff. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we had to start doing the same thing. Like, I'm not saying go out there and be on some, because everybody not approachable. But it's just like, it costs nothing to be kind to people. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you hungry? What you got going on? Let me talk to you for a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? However you approach the situation. We need more after school programs.
Right.
More leagues for these kids to do stuff, to express themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We sit there and say, yo, the kids don't want to be outside. It ain't nothing outside to do.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So these kids be sitting around in the summertime bored and don't have nothing to do. So of course they gonna get into bullshit.
On these phones and shit, watching the kid boys.
And another thing
like that,
too,
man.
Stop wearing them ski masks, man. I don't know why y'all kids walk around with these ski masks on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when you wore a ski mask, you was
You
ready.
was
How
up to
about that
some
car? You ready to be up to some shit.
Yeah,
You
you
know what I'm
walk down,
saying?
you walk down my block with a ski mask on. It was a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even get to say no words. You didn't even get to walk past. You didn't even get to make it up the block. Hell no.
I mean,
yeah, definitely, man. So yeah, I definitely I didn't want to cut you off, Des, but like what you said about us pouring into each other, major thing. And you know, we did get a little off topic, but that's okay because you know these are still valid points that need to be heard and made. Just when it comes to urban communities and us as a people, like we gotta pour into each other, man. It's like every other culture do it. Every other culture do it like with ease. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it's just everybody's for self. Everybody's for self. So you gotta find some genuine people in your life and make something happen. Because one of the things, just like since we was kids, what we always heard, buy back the block, right? All the old heads said that.
You know
what block got bought back?
Nope.
And poured back, and they poured back into the community.
Yeah.
What rec center is black owned? That's for you get what I'm saying? That's for minorities. You get what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. Look, it's a couple guys with some keys, do the working at some jobs and all that. But forget that. You know what I'm saying? Like that we in control of. You know what I'm saying? And then to also touch back up on what you said about the politicians and people shifting their focus on the bigger picture. We got a lot of work to do, man. As a people, you get what I'm saying? Like people can't even make their minds up or have a civil debate on who to vote for. You get what I'm saying? It's just a lot of work that a lot of people got to do, which still stems from all of the trauma. You get what I'm saying? All of that still.
Cause I was feeling like, I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
Everything still stems from the trauma that everybody's just set in their ways. You know what I'm saying? So the chain has to be broken, and the people have to come together. And once everybody comes together, it'll be easier for people in powerful positions to be on our side and make things happen. Or by us coming together, we can become the people in power. You get what I'm saying? So that's another thing. We just gotta shift our focus. We programmed to think the way we think now.
Yeah, cause I feel as though you made a lot of valid points, but I feel as though we be focused on the wrong things. We always focus on keeping up with the next person. Like I learned growing up in the inner city, it's always trying to do that the next person. And we can't have that mindset, because like you said, it's a lot of people that got money and in the streets that's not giving back to the community, but they'll flex with it or just to make it seem like they better than the next person. But in all reality, we all in the same boat because we all still here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all still here. Ain't nothing going to change. It's a saying, nothing changes unless something changes. Meaning if it's your mindset, your characteristics, or something, you have to change inside of you, because that's what a part of growth is, and it's just like with the school systems, we gotta stop going up to these schools thinking, oh, it's not my child, it's y'all, it's something that y'all doing. These teachers have to work with your kid every day for 8 hours to try to teach them. Sometimes they don't want to listen or nothing. We go up with the mindset where we got to curse the teacher out or try to fight. No, we need to start working side by side with these teachers. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times what it is these kids don't feel love, and sometimes they're not going to get that love from that home, due to their circumstances, So we have to start treating each kid as if they're our own. You get what I'm saying? Excuse me.
Right.
It's a lot of work that we have to do. We got a lot of work to do. But it starts by just one person, two, 3 people, just willing to put the work in. You know, you gotta make the time for it too. I mean, cause like even man, so much that can be said on it. You know, but
Yeah, but yeah, we definitely, I guess it's not going to take up too much time. Um, but we definitely want to talk to the people. We definitely got an exciting topic coming up on our next episode. Um, so we think we're going to talk about families and households growing up without fathers being present. We'll definitely be looking to go live and engaging more with the viewers. Um, Hopefully we could get 2 to 3 appearances on our live. Anybody that has a opinion that they want to share or feel strongly about that subject, engage with us. We do this for us. We do this for y'all. Everybody need to heal. We still healing. I'm sure y'all still healing. And like I said, we all deserve to be heard. So let's talk. This is the time to do it. We appreciate y'all. We hope that y'all are getting something good out of these cities. Everybody the room to express their self. So if you want the floor, you'll have the opportunity to take the floor and share your thoughts with us and our viewers.
cause your thoughts do matter. We do want to be transparent. We appreciate all the love that y'all been showing us, and I know when I'm out, I get a lot of people like, "Yo, when's the next episode?" You can be a part of this episode, the next episode. You just gotta reach out to us. You can follow us on Facebook. There's Bats. What's your joint?
CGWM.
Maji Wynn Jackman.
Yeah, so.
And yeah, like Dad said, reach out. We will be looking forward to having guest appearances, speakers on board. So if you feel like you heard a topic, or even if you have a topic in mind that's powerful, you feel like needs to get out there and you want the people to hear, reach out to us. We don't mind bringing you on board, sitting you down, and having you speak. We're here for it. That's what we do it for.
Yeah, we here for the people.